Welcome to the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. This show is brought to you by Oakley Trucking, headquartered in North Little Rock, Arkansas. The purpose of this podcast is to communicate with Oakley owner-operators and their families by giving them up-to-date information concerning Oakley trucking and the trucking industry, from business advice to safety updates to success stories. Also to give an insight to outside truck drivers that might be interested in joining the Oakley family. Hi, I'm Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is episode 23, and today we have a special podcast. We're going to call it the Oakley Roundtable. I am going to got three of our owner-operators here sitting with me in studio in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and we're going to talk to them about their story, not only their story with Oakley, but their story prior to Oakley and some of the ups and downs that they've had over their career. And I think it'll be great for our listeners to hear, and looking forward to getting into it with them. Going to get in deep discussion with them, the good and the bad. But first, before we get started, let's hear from Vickie Chastain on this week's Need to Know segment.
Have you paid your $550 for your heavy highway vehicle use tax this year? Also known as your 2290, that's this week's Need to Know segment. 2290s are due now. Filing dates are between July 1st and August 31st. Oakley can assist you in filing your 2290s by contacting Wendy Peaks at the office, or you can e-file them online by using one of the many websites available. If you are paying it online yourself, you can email a copy and the Schedule 1 receipt to Wendy Peaks when you have completed it. Do your part to get this taken care of to avoid late fees, penalties, and to avoid loss of revenue here at Oakley by paying your Schedule 1 2290 on time. I am Vickie Chastain, and that's this week's Need to Know segment.
Okay, let's dive right off into this podcast, guys. I'd like to get talking about some of this stuff on what we got going on here at Oakley Trucking and how it has affected your life and your ups and downs, and not only at Oakley, but as driving a truck in general, and how the world of truck driving is these days out there on the road. Not only with the pandemic going on, but cell phones and ELDs and everything else that dictates what you do out there. Like to introduce you guys, or y'all introduce yourself. First, let's start with Jerry Dunbar. He's here visiting with us. Jerry, give us a little history on you.
Well, I'm Jerry Dunbar. I live in Southwest Missouri. I'm on the hopper division. I've been truck driving for 46 years this year, and been with Oakley. I'm on my fourth year now. And I started off in the end dump, and now I'm on the hopper division. And I just really enjoy it. Wish I'd have come here about 10 years before that.
Good. Also got Robert Tennie joining us. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing great. My name is Robert Tennie. I live in Wynne, Arkansas. And I've been driving for about 20 years, I guess. Maybe a little bit more.
That's good. How long you been at Oakley?
I've been in Oakley for 6 years, and the best move I've made since I've been in trucking.
You got any family?
Yes, I have a wife, and my wife, Ann Hospital. We've been married for 28 years, and
oh man,
we don't have any children, so it just
you and
myself, her, and the three little poodles.
Gotta have those. What about you, Jerry? I forgot to ask you about family.
My wife at home, she's retired, and we got a whole bunch of grandkids and kids, and enjoy playing with them on the weekends. So.
Makes an eventful weekend, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
We also have Mr. Freddie Baker joining us. What's going on, Freddie? You doing all right?
I'm fine. My name's Freddie Baker. I live in Natchez, Mississippi. I'm 64 years old. I've been driving since I was 18. I've owned my own truck since I was 24, 25 years old. I've pulled about everything you can pull. I had pulled bulk before I came here, but when I came back here, I started pulling bulk again. And
dry bulk or liquid?
Dry bulk here. I'd always pull. I pulled dry bulk before I came here.
Okay, got you.
And
family?
No, I've got a wife,
right.
42 years.
Awesome.
No kids, and I've been in Oakley. It's my 10th year.
42 years. How long have you been married, Jerry?
We've been married 16 years.
16. And you said 28?
28 years.
and I've been married to Elizabeth 25. 25 years.
Wow.
26 pretty soon. So good deal.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, now as we go through this too, I want to get a little more history on you guys and what you've done before you got here, because I think our listeners, need to know what you left to come to Oakley, but also just want to cover some stuff of trucking in general and Oakley in general, and you can go any direction you want to. We'll chase a few rabbits, I'm sure, which is okay with me, but also compare. I want you listeners to realize I got a hopper owner-operator in here, got an end-dump owner-operator in here, and a pneumatic owner-operator. So, and these guys have been here a long time, 10 years, 4 years, and
6 years.
6 years. So they can tell you the good and the bad.
That's right.
About what's and some of the changes that's happened over the years that you've been here.
Yeah.
But first of all, what do y'all think about this new office?
Love it.
Fantastic.
Isn't it nice?
Beautiful building.
I mean, it is super nice. So well, you guys helped build it. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
You really need to write your name on the wall.
I tell you what I like about this yard now is our new driver's room.
Ah, nice, isn't it?
Well, I remember what the other one was. We had outgrown it, and but the driver's new shower house and everything is super.
Yeah.
It all works good over there. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful place over there, but y'all,
It was well needed.
yeah, it was.
And the
It's been overdue.
additional wash bay too is a big deal.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, now that'll come in handy. They just got that open and going good. So
Yeah.
that's I hope that helps relieve some pressure over there on getting washouts and rinses and all that stuff. So it'd be good. Well, we put a lot into this new office, and these guys have done a great job on designing it, and getting it built, and it's just good. We're trying to we had a conversation this week of making it more driver friendly, because we're trying to get the word out that you can come to the back here where there's an entrance for you owner operators on the southeast corner, and it's open 8 to 5 every day. It's unlocked, so you can drive to the back. And I know it's hard to explain over a podcast, but it's across the levee, and you hang a right and you see the back of the office, and you can drive. There's plenty of room to park back here where you can get to us. So
Yeah.
I want everybody to be able to get in here and come see it. I know with this pandemic going on, people, I guess out there, they're thinking, can we go to the office or not?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can. I mean, you helped build this place. You can come in here anytime you want to. So all good.
Actually, I just want to say that I'm parked in the back of the building now with the truck and the trailer. So
are you?
Jumped right out and just walked right on in.
And you just went and got loaded too.
Yes, I did. Just got loaded heading to Memphis in the morning.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah. Yeah. So you in good shape. What you guys want to cover a little bit this morning and talk about first? I'm thinking maybe just what Oakley Trucking has done for you, and what some of the good and bad about it is, maybe some of the changes we've made. Y'all want to start with something like that? Y'all got any input on anything?
Yeah. If you want me to start.
Go ahead.
I come from I had my own authority, had 6 trucks, 3 of my own and 3 leased on, and did my own dispatching, my own billing, my own everything. And it was a nightmare. It was rough. We was on the flatbed and step deck stuff. And I had went through 12 drivers in a year. And I just finally got to the point where I'd had enough. And so when I came to Oakley, it was when Oakley does so much for us, all the backroom stuff, all the stuff you don't think about, all the permits and all the everything, and dispatching and finding loads and billing it and all that. It was like a huge load off my shoulders when I come to Oakley. It's like I could finally sleep at night.
And you probably could actually do what you love to do, is drive.
Yeah.
Down the road and not have to worry about hiring drivers, billing customers. When am I going to get paid?
Right.
I bet that on
getting woke up in the middle of the night and a guy's hit an overpass, or you got to some driver that's lost in Nevada and you can't find him. And I mean, just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But this was such a relief when I came here. And I had come off so much pressure that my wife said immediately, I mean, it's just like a whole change when I came here. And so basically it really saved me. It really did save me.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd have made the move 10 years earlier, but it was a big change, and I won't go anywhere else.
That's good to hear. I'm glad we saved you.
Yeah.
It's I mean, that's a good story about it, because we've got a lot of stories like that.
Yeah.
But we also got stories of guys that doing good and good, making a great living, not hurting or anything, and they make the change and come over here. So I mean, it's everybody's different on what they want to do. What about you, Freddie? What was your history?
When I came here, when I first started trucking, I was on a flatbed, because where I lived at in Mississippi, there was plenty of flatbed stuff. Mm-hmm. But you made a lot of money during the spring and the summer, and you gave it all back in the winter because it got slow. Mm. And I was leased to a big company, and that's just the way it was. And I had visions of my own authority, and I did, with a flatbed, and it got no better. You starved to death in the winter. Mm. And then I went to pull a reefer on percentage. Percentage is a different animal than mileage. You're dealing with brokers, and percentage is different. And when I came here, I was on a reefer, and I was doing okay. But I came here, and there's no slow time for us. And I guess I became arrogant because I hear people talk about their business is slow. And I said, I can't say I've ever been slow here. It's been a little in the last few months through the COVID. Yeah, it's slow for what we are, but other people are hurting way worse. So, right. Coming from a percentage, or coming from a flatbed, or coming from a reefer, yeah, this here worked out good for me. And I used to own a reefer. You had to run. I mean, I had to run. Here, and you can make a good living and sleep every night and have some quality time at the house.
Well, you had pulled dry bulk before years ago, so was that something that attracted you?
I had pulled it from the time I was 20 till I was 25.
Oh, gotcha.
Bulk concrete. And I thought I knew bulk, but when you load it the same place and you pretty much go to the same place, but here we fool with so many different products, and we go to so many different places, a different customer base. It was a learning curve, but it's just
that's called diversified. We haul so many different products.
Yes.
I think says a lot for what we do. But what's some of the neatest stuff you guys have ever hauled, or some of the neatest places you've ever been, or anything like that? You think of any off the top of your head?
Well, there's one, I made the calendar with it one year at the nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania. I was sitting right at the nuclear power plant, and I thought that was neat because I'd never been to a nuclear power plant. But you go to every place is different here. And I guess I'm kind of a loner, and you're pretty much kind of by yourself here when you unload. I mean, it's
up to you to get it done.
It's up to you, the man.
Yeah.
Because most of them, when you come in, if they've said you've been here before, well, you go on back and you unload it. Of course, a lot of places we load, you don't really see anybody because you get your paperwork from the box they send down to you. And I kind of like that because, you don't.
Yeah.
You're not fooling with a bunch of shipping clerks and people like that.
Nobody looking over your shoulder ever. I mean, they expect you to get it done. That's
right.
A difference in a lot, like pulling a reefer, or you coming over to pull a dump or a pneumatic or something. I mean, that we tell people, look, we kind of put a lot of responsibility on you.
That's right.
To get stuff done. There ain't going to be nobody there holding your hand to get it done. And we try to do some good training, but that's iffy sometimes, the training, but we do get it done. But we do expect you guys. So any places you guys been, or any product y'all hauled that's neat, Jerry or Robert?
I've hauled when I was on Indump, hauled a bunch of the sand to like baseball stadiums and golf courses and big fancy, 5-star golf courses, and haul that white sand out of Arkansas here.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat. The different products.
I think the one that was kind of good for me, just like you were saying about the baseball dirt, I hauled that down into Florida to where the Toronto
baseball team.
Oh, yeah, that's what they do on their practice fit. That's what they do.
Oh, spring training.
So I delivered a load of dirt to their pitcher mound.
Oh,
so
did you?
So I thought that was really cool. It's like, wow, this is where they train, and this is the dirt that they're going to be.
Now, you didn't drive out on the baseball field, did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because they want, well, not on the baseball field, but pretty close. They just wanted a certain area. Yeah. But it's just the fact that just being in that vicinity, that was
I'm
pretty
thinking
cool.
maybe you just went out there, dumped it, made the mound and everything.
No, not like that.
Tailgated out.
Tailgated.
It's just the fact that, wow, if you really think about it, you just watch the baseball game. You never think about how the dirt got there.
Right.
But just the fact that here, Oakley bringing in the baseball dirt for this field, that was pretty cool.
Right. I'll throw y'all a curve here because it just hit me. Do y'all think, as a bulk business, do we see the front of the economy or the back? I'm thinking the front, when we're like the beginning of things going to happen down the road, don't you think?
Well, on the Pneumatic, we pull catalyst for every refinery in the United States. And usually as the oil business goes in this country is how things go.
Yeah.
And you feel it, and we're kind of coming out of some of that stuff because the oil business has been down because the price is down, but the refineries are starting to generate again. And I can see we're starting to haul more catalyst now.
Yep. Yep. So we're on the beginning side of it.
I see too, because we haul so much of the raw ingredients to all kinds of stuff, whether it's grain or roofing granules or concrete or cement or whatever it is that we haul, rock and all that, is that those orders for all those loads come in ahead of the curve. They're like a futures market.
Right.
You can predict kind of what's going to happen in the next few months by what we're doing now,
right.
In the economy and all that. So to me, it's kind of like a hidden market that people don't really watch that much. I mean, maybe commodity traders do, but as far as truck drivers, when we're running and doing good, things are starting to move again.
Yeah, and go on. Go ahead, Robert.
And that was just interesting what he was saying, because like when I came to Oakley, I didn't, this part of the business, the bulk haul business, as being a truck driver, and I had driven trucks for a long time. I was hauling a dry box. I never even knew this side exists.
Yeah.
And once I came over and started getting into the type of work that Oakley does, it's just like, wow, I should have been doing this a long time ago. Yeah. And plus the pay is much better than the dry box. And like you said, that since I've been here 6 years, and
makes a difference when you've got plenty of product to haul.
Right, exactly.
But I hear that all the time of people saying, well, I didn't know y'all did all this stuff.
Exactly.
I thought you hauled your own stuff, or I didn't realize a dump trailer went all over the country.
Exactly.
Canada and everywhere.
Yeah, I thought it just went around here.
Yeah.
And that's been a big difference too.
And another great thing too is the fact that you get in and work with your dispatchers. As I say, I've been here for 6 years, and I think maybe 3 times I've made it home on Saturday, but every weekend I'm home.
Nice.
Every weekend. And that's just working with the dispatchers, and because I prefer to be home on weekends. So he makes sure that he starts out the week and start working towards the weekend, because he knows that come Thursday evening, I'm not talking about getting home Saturday morning. It's either early Friday or Friday, getting home. And I think to me, that's a great benefit.
Well, and just so y'all know, that's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
I don't know. You stay out, don't you?
But I have a different system than you, but it's my system.
Right.
Right.
But I pull a tank and it's a different business.
Right.
I stay gone usually a month.
Okay.
But that's my doing.
Right.
Because when I go home, I'm going to be home for 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
Right.
And I feel like I get better time off me being home for 2 days after I've been gone a week than and that just works for me. And Bradley's my dispatcher and he works with me, and most everybody that runs on tanks kind of got that system.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
But-
hard to stay out a month, Freddie?
If it's good, if the freight's good and we're rocking and rolling, it'll go by fast.
Yeah.
If it's good, it don't take you something like I don't seem like and Bradley, when it's good, I have stayed 6, 7, 8 weeks because
Wow.
it's a roller coaster. When you're on top, you stay with it because
Well, and you guys know, y'all been here long enough. You know when it's good, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
How do you know that?
Because of the amount of miles that we get, you get good paying loads.
Less deadhead.
Yeah. And not only that, with me, even though I go home on the weekends, I still make a real good pay.
Yeah.
Even with going home every weekend, the pay is still good.
But if I know where I'm at, if I'm out west and I've been gone 5 weeks, 4 weeks, and I'm out west, I'm staying out, because if I'm out west, it's going to be good because everything coming home is going to be long. So I
Right.
stay with it.
Right.
And
That's good, though. That's why you know you're going to get
because
make more money.
because I know when
Right.
I'm ready to take off, it's there for me.
Exactly.
I'm one of the guys that goes home every weekend, usually. But I found a little trick of the trade, and Seth is my dispatcher there in Catoosa on Hopper. And we kind of got a little thing going where I'll preload something on Friday to deliver on Monday. So I'll leave Sunday afternoon or whatever, deliver it
Right.
on Monday. Instead of getting unloaded on Friday and then waiting to load something on Monday, because our payday ends on Mondays. If I do that and roll that around at least 2 or 3 weeks a month, that's an extra $1,200 to $1,500 a load. Each load I do that adds up in the month of more money, but I still have my home time on the weekend.
Yeah.
So I get close to the area, Tulsa area, whatever, on Thursday afternoon, go to Joplin, reload on Friday morning, come home by Friday afternoon, have all day, the rest of the day, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday evening leave to deliver on Monday. And that gives you that extra load each week.
I can remember when I was dispatching, of course, the guys I dispatched, they didn't have it near as good as you guys got it. But I can remember dispatching back then, and you had to get it while the getting was good. And we would say, look, it's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to go home. You need to be working right now because it's happening right now, and who knows how long that's going to last.
Right.
So it's, things have sure changed over the years to where these guys are able to do that. That's impressive what these dispatchers do for sure. Yeah. Why do you guys, just a general question, why do you like driving a truck?
Well, when I first started out, I enjoyed driving because I like driving. And before I got married, I just wanted to just travel, just see the United States, how can you better see the United States than it's out of the window of a truck. And then plus the fact that you're getting paid.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, really. So
that's good.
That's why I got into trucking. But it's different now since I'm married, because at the time I was single, then, it wasn't no big deal. But now that's why, I prefer to be home every weekend, that I get home every weekend, because now I have a wife. So
what about you, Jerry?
I grew up in a rodeo family. And so I was hauling grain and feed and livestock before I was able to legally drive, in the field and everything, so I guess if I hadn't been on a tractor or truck or whatever, I've just kind of been a wheelman my whole life. And if it moves and it's got an engine, I'm into it,
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that I love doing it. And that's it.
What about you, Freddie?
I was always kind of a rebel, and
I can see that.
That the truck always was kind of, I could do what I wanted to. I went where I wanted to, and it just kind of fit my lifestyle. And I tried to come to Oakley several years before I came, but I was fighting this, and I don't know if you remember this, Jeremy. I had talked to you several times, and I remember you told me that I was going to. I sent a picture. You used to have a thing on the app. It said your facial hair and everything. I had a beard and everything, and I fought that for a while. And finally, I remember Jerry called me one day, and I said, I told him I still got a beard, and he said, "Well, you'll have to shave." Well, I did, and I look at pictures of me now going, I just can't believe I look like that. So it wasn't a bad thing, but I fought it for a while.
We've cleaned up a lot of good people.
But it just fit my lifestyle.
Right.
Well, truck drivers make a good living. I mean, there's opportunity out there. I think that a lot of people don't understand that, especially owner-operators can make a great living for themselves. Mm-hmm. And, it's always been in the past, the negative is but you're gone. And now I think a lot of companies are figuring out ways to still be a family man somewhat and still make that good living without being gone all the time. There's a lot of companies doing.
Well, I would say with Oakley, just by being here, like I would say to any other drivers out there that drives for a company, that's a company driver, like I would definitely say to them that you should really consider becoming an owner operator, because here with Oakley, and that's what really brought me to Oakley because, I was seeing all of the nice, big, pretty trucks, and I said, well, wow, that company must be doing real. This must be something.
You were a company driver before you came here.
No, I was an owner operator.
You were an owner operator. Okay.
But, I had heard all of the negative things about being an owner operator. But what I'm saying is that with Oakley and with their pay and, if you can't afford to purchase a truck, like you wouldn't have no problem getting it paid for by coming here to work with Oakley. Right. Because like they're going to have the miles and the pay is going to be adequate enough.
Is that the biggest fear of these company drivers? They just think they can't pay for a truck, or what's their?
Or they can't handle
they don't
the
want
business
responsibility.
Responsibility.
Yeah,
I think a lot of them aren't used to handling their own business and finances and stuff, and you do have to be responsible and handle your own finances and your maintenance on your truck and all that, and it's something you have to step up for.
Yeah, but I think the most important thing about being an owner operator is the fact that you have to be an owner operator to a company that's going to pay well, so that you will be able to pay for that truck with your breakdowns and anything that comes along.
Yeah, because there's a lot of companies out there that say they pay, but you probably can't make a living at for whatever reason. Which brings up a good point, and Freddie had said it earlier about percentage and mileage.
Right.
Well, I know. And this may have changed a little bit over the years, but I used to fight that all the time as a recruiter, explaining mileage pay, because in an owner-operator's mentality, I can't make any money on paid mileage. Y'all probably hear that from people out there. I can't make any money. I got to have $250, $350 a mile before I'll move this truck. Well, they're not taking into account the deadhead miles, all the benefits that you can get with mileage paid. Where we were going with that early on was we wanted to make our guys successful, so we tried to make them do the mileage pay where they were consistently getting a check.
Right.
And that's what we've tried to sell is but the hard part with that, anybody thinks if your mileage, well, I may not get the miles. They're going to take some trust, you being over here and realizing.
I remember this conversation I had with you before I came. I was on a percentage. But it was based on household movers miles, what the percentage was. And I asked you, this load I had come off, how many miles would it have paid me if I'd have been at Oakley? And this was about a 1,200 mile load I was on, and it would have paid me something like another 140 or 50 miles if I'd have been here. Yeah. Because we were on practical miles, which we still are, instead of household mover or. Right. And I thought, that's dollars and cents. But mileage scared me too. Yeah. But the mileage pay is good here, and longevity has its rewards here because of our bonus pay. And I mean,
that bonus plan of 5 cents a loaded mile for your first year. And then I can remember us talking about this with Mr. Benny, and I was like, that is the craziest thing I believe I've ever heard you come up with. He said, because there's no end to it.
Yeah, Freddie and I was talking about
it just
earlier
keeps going
about
up another penny every year.
If I'd have come here 10 years before I did, and Freddie had come here 5 years before he decided to shave his beard off.
It cost him a lot of money, didn't it?
Cost us both a lot of money every
Thank
year.
you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
But I mean, as you really think about that, I mean, it's really kind of great the way Oakley has it set up to where each year before you renew your contract, you know, you get that mileage pay, that 5 cents. And
that bonus pay.
I've had this conversation with people who've been here a long time.
Wait. But the thing about that is you get a check for $7,000-$8,000. You know, like, hey, man, you like, sign me up.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation with people said, I'm thinking about quitting. And they've been here 11, 12, 13, 15 years. I said, you realize the money you're going to walk away?
Exactly.
Because if it gets up to that, it's $1,000 a month. And after they think about it, they thought, I think I'll stay here.
Yeah. It makes a difference.
It makes a difference, really.
Jeremy, back to when we were on the mileage pay as opposed to percentage pay. There's something we've talked about what's in the cards for us. And like, if Seth calls me on a Thursday, he says, I need you to run over to the Boot Hill, Missouri, and deadhead 250 miles or something like that over there, because I've got a customer that we need to load that load and be in Mississippi on Monday or whatever. And he deadheads me 300 miles. Well, it's $1.70 or whatever it is a mile, empty. Okay. Yeah. I don't even think about it anymore because our empty pay is better than a lot of companies' loaded pay.
That's very true.
And then he's hooking me up with a 1,000-mile or 800-mile load that'll deliver on Monday. So there's nothing bad in this whole sequence. When we had the flood in Catoosa last year, well, in here, and we were trying to get all that fertilizer out of Catoosa and going to Iowa or up there by Sioux City. We was trying to save all that fertilizer. Well, we were just deadheading back around, just turning them. There's like 20 of us trucks, hoppers hauling all that up there so they could save the fertilizer.
Right.
When you're getting paid between $1.70 and $2 and something a mile, it don't matter. Just send me to go do it. I'm not going to argue about it.
And that takes a little while to get trust in your dispatcher. And I've seen that with owner operators that come over here before, and they're paid percentage. It's hard for them to wrap their mind around how this mileage thing works, and then they got to have faith in their dispatcher because we got that one-on-one dispatch, and if you don't get confidence in him real quick, it's going to be a rough ride. That first. The first couple months is going to be rough anyway.
But just like our CSA pay, 25 cents a mile.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's on all miles, the CSA pay,
Yep.
loaded and empty.
Yep.
And so, I mean, all these little bonus things start adding up, and you start figuring out what it's cost you if you don't. So yeah.
It definitely. I don't know. I'm preached mileage all these years, because that's what I do. It's what I'm paid to do. But I just, to me, it seems like an owner operator wanting to make that jump, but afraid to the responsibilities, we talked about. That to me, the mileage is more of a sure thing.
Yes.
Than a percentage that I don't know.
I've got several friends that have left from here that went to on the greener side of the mountain. They thought. And they were on percentage, and they'll tell you what all their percentage pays, and it will fathom you what it does. But then when they unload, they put 1,000 miles behind it on deadhead to the next one. I said, put the number on it. Yep. I'm doing better than you are.
Include it all.
Don't tell me what it is up front. I want to hear the whole thing, and and I ain't saying that a lot of people on percentage are probably doing art, but majority of them, it ain't that green.
And Jeremy, what that also does for Oakley, let's talk about that. What it does for the company and the customers, the shipper and receiver. If you guys need to move that load for the customer, so it's there, and you got to deadhead me 300 miles to make it happen. That helps dispatch. You don't have to argue with me about deadheading 300 miles because I'm ready to go.
Exactly.
Right.
The customer, we get it loaded on time, we get it unloaded on time. Everybody wins, you know. So it helps the company. It does help the customers too on both ends.
And not only that, I mean, like, and as far as with the company, they are willing to deadhead you that far just to take care of a customer, you know, because like their basic thing is to make sure the customer is happy. So if they had to deadhead you 300 miles for that customer product to be picked up to where it need to go, then.
So do you guys think Oakley gives good customer service?
Yes.
I preach that to our incoming owner operators, and I tell them that there's two things you got to buy into here, and one of them is customer service, and the other one's safety. And if you cannot buy into those two things, you're going to be miserable here.
Yes. Because
we try to go. I mean, y'all know customer service is. You don't find it everywhere anymore, do you?
No.
And I mean, if you really think about it, customer service is better for us because, like, the better job that we do for the customer, they're going to keep coming back, and that's going to continue us to continue hauling their products for them.
Right. That's exactly right. And I was telling them this morning, matter of fact, this group that was in here this morning, is that you guys, talking about you owner-operators at Oakley, y'all have produced so much freight for yourselves you'll never know. Because you're clean cut, your truck looks good, your trailer looks good, your attitude's good, your language is good, you're just giving good customer service. And I said, you know, there's not a line on your settlement that says looking good, $100 for Jerry Dunbar, but you just don't know. You'll never know how much freight you have produced for yourself because you do things right. And that's what I tell these guys, because customer service is something. We're trying to change the whole image of trucking,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because truck drivers got a bad name, don't they?
Yeah.
Bad rep.
Yeah.
So do trucking companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do too, and we're doing our, you know, what part we can with 875 owner operators trying to change that.
But your customer base knows what Oakley does for them, because after you've been on the pneumatic side, you know who the heavy hitters on customers are.
Yeah.
And they're going to take care of them. And it doesn't matter if they call them on a Friday evening and say, I need 20 trucks. And the closest 20 trucks is 1,000 miles you coming to them.
Yeah.
And they know that
because
because they can't put their hands on that many trucks from nobody else. And they'll tell you, Oakley, Oakley may be this, but it's one thing about it. They'll take care of you.
Yeah, when we call on them, they ready.
And they, in the trucking industry, there are cutthroats and there are people trying to cut your rate and everything. And it happens in the pneumatic end, but Oakley,
we fight it constantly.
They hold the line, but we keep our service up and wait for a better day sometimes and it hurts you in customers sometimes, but they know we're always there.
That's good to know, because I don't know a lot of times what the customers, what they perceive out there. So you think they know we can get it.
Yes.
Jeremy, let me tell you about what happened when this COVID thing hit.
All right.
Back in March, 1st of March. We were up in Iowa, about 5 of us up in Iowa, moving soybeans out of storage bins down to this place. And the remark from the farmer was, he said, I've never used Oakley before. This is the first time. All of us was sitting in his driveway at 8 o'clock that morning. That's getting everything set up to load us all. And he said, this is the first time that I've ordered trucks, and they've been here on time, and we ran them back and forth all week that week when this COVID thing all hit. And we were not getting in and out of the truck, and they were giving us our tickets and doing all that kind of stuff and everything. And that guy says, I'll never use anybody else again.
That's great.
And I've heard that over and over again. Whether there's supposed to be five or six Oakley trucks there, normally there's at least 4 or 5 of them there, and here comes the 6th one down the road.
Yeah. And we're only able to do that because of the good owner operators that we have. I mean, you just can't put anybody on this stuff and expect to get it done. And then, you know, yes, most of the time we're going to have a higher rate, charge customers just for the fact that, you know, they need trucks. We're sending them. You know, we're going to get them there and get it done and get the customer taken care of. That we have that want to please the customer for sure. But a lot of that falls back on you guys. Well, all of it does. Getting it done, hauling the weight, you know, doing things right, not taking advantage of the situation when things like that happen. And that's you know, to commend all of our owner operators that go the extra mile to do that. And that says a lot, because I don't know of another trucking company you can get a group of guys like we got. Now, I'm sure there's some bad apples out there out of 875, but I hope not. But I'm sure there's a few in there that we don't want to be bad apples. Just try to change them. But you know, that customer service goes a long way, and it works. It works for us for sure.
Well, the product you haul, I mean, you just can't. Stuff we haul, you just can't. You got to have somebody that's kind of responsible for it.
Yeah, and there's have y'all ever seen any irresponsible truck drivers?
Oh,
Every day.
But this is not a dry. This is nothing against a dry box guys or anything like that. But there's a different caliber of people here pulling
Different
bulk.
mentality.
It really is.
Yeah, if you come here with a dry box mentality of I'm gonna open the doors and that's all I'm gonna give it, you're not gonna be here long.
Yeah.
It just takes a little more.
And that's what happened when I came here. I came from a dry box, and as I said, this was a whole different experience for me. But
you had to take a little more responsibility for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you guys have said, I wish I would have found this out 10 years ago. You know, I wish I would have been 16 years instead of 6 years,
Right.
you know, because like it's a great job. It's a great job.
Let me ask you guys this. What do your spouses think about Oakley?
My wife loves it. She listens to these podcasts.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Nice.
And she usually goes with me probably a couple of weeks a year. You know, she'll go with me a couple of weeks a year. She loves to go with me and stuff. And when we was hauling fertilizer to Colorado summer before last, I took her with me up there and, you know, seen the mountains and all that stuff and around. And, you know, so my wife loves it.
What about yours, Freddie?
When I came here, I was on a reefer, and I ran long. I would go through the house, spend the night, eat supper, wash my clothes, and be gone at daylight. I'd run to Florida, and 2 days later, I would stop. That was my home time. Now, when I go home, like I said, my schedule is a week, 7, 8, 9 days. We go places. You can just sit on a back porch for a day or two. You don't have to, you know, it's just more quality time at the house for me now.
Can actually plan something.
Oh, we do. It's planned when I get there instead of one evening, you know, yeah, she likes it.
Good. Well, that's important for the spouses to be part of this deal. Because if you're not happy, then she's not going to be happy. If you're griping at her about it, she's not going to take that very long, and then she's not going to like it. What about yours, Robert?
My wife, she enjoys it. I mean, like, she loves it, you know, being home. She can actually plan things around being home on Friday. So, you know, knowing that I'm going to be home every Friday, you know, she can really do a lot of things. And not only that, and what I wanted to say is that with the mileage, when I was running the box trailer, you have to really run hard. And then by the time you get home, you're so exhausted, you can't do anything. But here, you don't have to run hard and still make a decent pay.
Yeah.
I hate for them to hear that in dispatch sometime that we, you know.
I mean, like, as for it, that's the way it works for me. You know, I mean.
Well, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't run near as hard as I used to,
No.
but I sleep a lot.
Right. And I think that's what a lot of the drivers who've been out there running really hard when they come here, they can't quite understand that you don't have to run that hard. It's not like
It takes a while to down tune. You think that's the way you had
have
to do
to,
it. You had to
exactly.
do it.
Yeah.
And you come here and you realize I don't have to do that anymore.
and you still make a good.
I can make a
pay.
living here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if you slow down, you think I'm not making any money,
Exactly.
and then you get your paycheck.
Exactly.
I used to feel I felt
Exactly.
guilty when I used to come home because I knew it was missed revenue.
Yeah,
Here, and after you've been here a while, you know how to plan your money,
Yeah.
Right.
way the pay periods come and everything.
Right.
And I know how to my pay periods, and it doesn't hurt you because the money's coming. But when I come
Exactly.
home, I still got checks coming.
Yeah.
But you have to kind of plan and learn how to work your money here and everything. But it's pretty easy system.
Well, and you can plan your maintenance when you're home instead of doing it out on the road. Breakdown maintenance is not maintenance. Breakdown maintenance is expensive and it's a safety hazard and it's miserable.
What is y'all's truck philosophy? You trade every 3 years. You got a used truck. You rebuild it. What do y'all do on trucks?
I drove one used truck, and I said, if I'm going to stay in the trucking business, I'm going to drive good equipment, new equipment. And I trade every 3.5 years. I'm looking, and I don't ever go past 4, and I trade.
Brand new.
And I usually buy one set of tires for the truck, and they make the life of the truck, and I change the oil in it, and that's pretty much my maintenance.
What are you in right now? What are you driving right now?
A W900 Kenworth.
Okay, nice.
But I want to tell you that what my wife really likes about this place, and I think it's on our anniversary date. She gets a bonus too.
That bonus
my wife
check.
loves that.
I didn't know about that. They'll
Yeah.
kind of hide from me. She said, I got a check from Oakley. And I said, what for?
Yep.
And they get a check on our anniversary date. And I told
Correct.
Jeremy one time, I said, boy, you know how to grease a wheel there. Keep them
Well,
happy.
That debit card, they like that debit card coming in.
Yes,
Every year it
indeed.
goes up, so yeah, they be looking forward to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
we glad to do that. We know how to get to
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yes, indeed.
Well, I'm just kidding. That's good because they put up with y'all being
Yep.
gone
That's
Yeah.
true.
and probably being there, but they put up with you being gone.
Yeah.
And they deserve a little bit of something out of it for sure.
Yeah.
That's all good information. And unfortunately, we're running short on time this week. So we're going to continue this conversation next week. So be sure and tune in for the second half of the Oakley Roundtable. See you next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate or review the show in the podcast platform of your choice and share it with a friend. We love hearing from our audience. So if you've got a question, comment, or just want to say hello, head over to our website, theoakleypodcast.com, and click the Leave a Comment button. We'll get you a response soon and may even share some of the best ones here on the show. We'll be back with a fresh episode very soon. Thanks for listening.